Hello, chat. Welcome back. We're back developing the typing roguelike, as the title would imply. And so basically, I did a little bit off stream, but not that much. So this is where we left off. We had a shop. And basically, I made the shop actually work, and I made the code a lot less scuffed. So first thing I did is that the keycaps did not display properly, the ones you can buy. So I fixed that. And I also made it so that the selection and stuff actually works. What's up, Duo? Shop looking good. Thank you. What's up, Swain? Yeah, it's I think I'm definitely going to rework how it works at some point, but basically you can type the key you want to buy, you press spacebar to be like, yep, confirm, and then you press a key, and it goes there, and we get an error, because apparently it doesn't work. Interesting. Anyway, I actually think it will work despite the error if I give myself money. We're going to find out. Because I implemented you like actually needing money. Yeah, okay. So we are able to place it, despite the strange error. So that's good. And as long as you have the money, see, I can't buy this because I don't have the money, but if you try to buy something you can afford, you can indeed buy it and place it. I wasn't hitting spacebar, that's why I wasn't working there. But yeah, it works basically. It's not like nice. It's not easy to use. It's not self-explanatory, but it works. So I think it's going to be good enough for like testing. And so that's kind of what I got. And then I feel like there was something else I was saying. Oh yeah, so how much the keycaps cost is related to what keys they are. So basically, right now I have the top 1,000 English words list, just like stolen from Monkey Type. And so that's like my word list. And so I looked at like the frequency distribution of that, and then that's how I decided how much each letter would cost. So that's, let me close this so I don't have to look at that every time I open this up. It's down here. First we have this, which basically only returns true if it's a key you can buy, which is like all the letters basically. Letters and numbers. But these keys are all like the modifiers and stuff. So this is nice to have, because I basically just make the shop re-roll what keycap it spawns until it's buyable. But anyway, I have all these letter prices built in. E is the only letter that costs 5, because it's so much more common than every other letter. And then based on the type of keycap, there's a multiplier, and then it just does the letter times the multiplier. But yeah, that way like you can see like these all kind of suck, so they're cheap. But I wonder if we reroll, if I can get like a good example. These kind of work. Like you can see the grave key, even though its damage boost is, it only costs $1 because that's like a sucky key. Nobody, like, you're not even going to use that at all. I'm gonna make some sort of system eventually, and it's like the word list by default doesn't have any numbers at all. So what I'm gonna do is at the start all the number keycaps are like locked. You can't replace them, and they don't show up in the shop at all. And then I think it'll be after you defeat a boss or something, numbers unlock, and then there might be like just like there's a chance that the word it generates is a random number, or maybe I'll start like replacing letters with numbers. I don't know, just to make things more difficult. But yeah, so I will eventually make it so that numbers and symbols that are not in the word list won't actually show up in the shop until you've unlocked them. But that's just, that's like a future endeavor to get into all those details. But yeah, if you have money, you can in fact buy keycaps. Like I could replace the Z key, because like who's gonna use the Z key? And then like I could even take this additional E and replace like X, because like who's gonna type X, right? But E you type all the time, so even though it's only +1 damage, worth it. Anyway, point is the shop like kind of works now. If I not the Z key, hate the Z key sucks. I hate the Z key. It's my least favorite key. Yeah, so I made like a shop manager script. The code is still like a little crazy, but it's so much better than it was before. So I'm happy about that. I made it so now like the shop code is actually in the shop, and the buyable keycap script has to do a lot less of the work. If you were here at the end of last stream, you know that the code was bad, and it looked bad, and everything was bad. So that's somewhat resolved now. And then other thing I did, just like this morning and a little bit last night, is I started making like a tiny little map scene. So we just have like map tiles, and you're going to be able to move between them. It's kind of like Peglin, I guess, is the idea. Where like, oh, just let me make this large. Yeah. So like you can just select which way you're gonna go, and I'll just have that be like each one gets a word you type, and if you type that word, you go that direction. And yeah. And then so right now, I just have the blank starting space, and then if I hit play, it'll actually change the textures. But you can see I have a battle tile and then a shop tile. And yeah, I just need to make it so you can actually move between them, which will probably be the first thing we do this stream. After I figure out what this error is. Okay, we don't have the keyboard weapon with us. We should probably just make this error go away for now. Copy the run info. This is what holds the keyboard weapon and the run stats, which has like how much money you have and how many battles you've won. So this is going to exist in every scene. But for now, I'm just putting it in each one separately. But hopefully today, the goal is to actually make all the different scenes we need, and then the transitions between them. And if we do all that, then I can make a single run info game object that's created when you start the run, and it's persistent throughout the run until you lose and start the next run. That would be the goal for the day. I definitely only have a few hours to stream today, but I've never streamed for a few hours. So I think it'll be as much time as I want, basically. But yeah. First thing is make it so you can move between the tiles. That's the plan. So if we go into our map tile prefab, the battle tile is lovely. Thank you, thank you. I found a pixel art skull on Google and then mostly copied it. Not like, I didn't copy it, but like heavy inspiration was drawn for the general shape and such. But yeah. Okay. This we'll need a name tag display and a typing test. Which I think I did this off stream last night. I made these into game objects. And before, it would be like you would have the game object with the typing test on it, and then you just attach the typing test script. But I realized that it was better to have it be a whole, like an empty, separate from the game object, with the script attached. It's just more consistent, and it makes more sense for the script to be attached to the game object with the same name. So I think it'll be easier to work with. But yeah, hopefully, do I need to do anything here? Let's see. Does this just work? If I'm like a good programmer, then this just works. But I don't remember exactly what I did. Okay, it definitely isn't just working, because we have sample text still. But it's also not giving any errors. And let's see. Let's reference this guy. Okay, this gets a reference to the name tag, which I assume is basically... Let's check how I did this. We might do a little editing of the script. Where do we not use this at all? I think this reference to name tag is actually used by something else. So let me actually look at the enemy script. I accidentally closed Visual Studio. I didn't want to do that. I regretted my click immediately, but we'll reopen it. See, because the enemy script does not need a reference to the name tag. This name tag needs a reference to the test. Greetings. Hello. Welcome. Right now I'm trying to make things work that aren't working. Let's see here. Map tile. Name tag. I see. Wait. Okay. So my name tag display prefab is bad. Let's see. Okay. I don't know how this happened, but it just doesn't have the script attached to it. Just curious. So let me copy this into the prefab. Paste component values, and then yes, this one should be empty. Okay, save that. Now, if we go into our map tile, we should, if I open the prefab, be able to just attach the name tag display, and then all I should need to do is connect the typing test into it. And in theory it works now, I hope. Only one way to find out. Yes, okay. So now we have the typing tests. They appear. Very nice. Okay, so basically now I just need to make it so when you type the word, you go into the corresponding scene. Awesome. It is pretty awesome. We love to see it. We love to see things working. Alright, so luckily I've designed the map tiles. A small victory? Oh, definitely. You need the small victories. typing test here is nice because we have a Unity event in the inspector. And so you can just drag in the map tile, and then you can call any function on the map tile from here. So I basically just need a function that says, hey, switch the scene, which I will do. Okay. I forgot I closed Visual Studio. Let me reopen that. Good thing it doesn't take as long as opening the Unity project, otherwise it would be sad. We would be okay, but it would be sad. I'm just gonna make a public void move to tile. And the first thing it's gonna do, move the player to the tile. And then, actually, I think we could put this on the player. No, maybe we won't. Maybe we won't do it that way. We just will need to get the player, but that's no problem. How do you get a tile on there, on that there silly counter? Basically, when I am trying to figure out why something isn't working for 10 minutes straight, and then I realize, like, I forgot to attach the script to the game object, or, like, last stream I was making the shop, and the code I was writing was subpar, to say the least. And so I just set the silly counter to 999 because it was scuffed. It wasn't good. But yeah. Basically, that's the silly counter explained. Email me. That does sound quite silly. Yeah, it was silly. It was silly times. Okay. Do I need... Oh, this is game objects. I went to the singular game object because there should not be multiple game objects tagged player. That would be problematic. Okay, second thing we want to do is change the scene. And for that, I'm actually going to use a coroutine, which I am not super familiar with, but let's do, so what I want to do is I want to make it wait like a second before it changes the scene. But I'm just gonna like Google how to do that. Wait 4 seconds. Okay. We need this guy here, basically. Does this have to take in... Okay, it takes in a float. So... I'll pass this into the coroutine, I think. Start coroutine. Change scene 0.5f. Okay. And now, in theory, all we need to do is go Calls not allowed when transient artifacts are getting updated. Oh no. Let's see. Call is not allowed when transient artifacts are getting updated. Is that... What do you mean? Okay, well, when we clear, the error goes away. So maybe it's just the Unity engine being silly, because our code does compile. So we'll find out, I guess. But now we can take the typing test. We can drag map tile into here, and then we can select move to tile. And then since that's prefab, it should apply to all of these. And then we need to make it so it actually changes the scene. Which I believe we can use using load scene. Unity, how to change scenes. Scene manager.load scene. And I already have the scene name thing in here. Do we need... Let's see. Do I not have it in here? I think I put it in... I thought I made this, but maybe I didn't. Oh, it's in this. Because it depends on the tile type. So... we need to basically copy this logic again. For each mapping in tile mappings, if the mapping's location type matches this map location's location type, we load the scene corresponding to the tile mapping. Not the most self-explanatory code. It might need some tweaking in the future, but for now, hopefully it works. That's what we want. Moment of truth. Let's go to the shop. Boom. The player was underneath the shop tile. So, you know, that's something to work on. But, you know, details. Here's the question. Why is it on top of this one, but under this one? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But hopefully just changing the player's Z fixes that. Okay, yeah. Boom. We can go to the shop. Let's see if I set up the other scene correctly before. Okay. We're still behind the battle though. What's up with that? I have so many questions. Hold on. Can I, like... I've never done this before, but if I go into scene view, I can make it 3D. Oh, this is fun. So yeah, the player's definitely in front. Can I still... how do I want to do this? Okay, I've moved the player and then paused instantly. And... okay. I see what's happening, I think. We're moving the player's transform to the map tile's transform. And so it's just putting it in exactly the same place as the map tile. And I'm guessing that it's just like either going based off the hierarchy or just like picking randomly what goes in front first. So I think we can do instead of this, could just do X and Y. We'll have to... this is kind of clunky, but it fixes the issue probably for now. I'm just trying to go with the philosophy that, like, I'm gonna change all of this code again someday. It's not gonna... so, you know, when it's a little bit scuffed, I'm like, I'll rewrite it later. And that way I can actually get things done. Okay. It does in fact work. We are in the battle scene. And we can fight the enemies. And I forgot I made it spawn a lot of enemies. But if you're new here, this is a good showcase of... okay, I died. But this is a good showcase of, like, the battle. It's not much yet, but... yeah. It's so fun to view this from 3D. I love it. It is very nice that all 2D Unity scenes are secretly 3D. Like, I don't know if other engines work like that, but it feels very intuitive. Just, like, change the Z index to make it... yeah. Anyway. We can move between the map tiles, which is nice. And later I'll have to do more, because there's going to be, like... do I still have the Peglin map open? There's going to be, like, these branches connecting. And right now, you would be able to move to, like, any tile on the screen. Which isn't what I want in the end. But, yeah. I like the idea of question mark locations. I'm gonna note that down. I don't know exactly what they do in Peglin. I played, like, the demo of Peglin, but I have not actually played it. But if it's just, like, completely random where you go, I do think that's funny. Alright. The map exists, and we can transition out of the map. So, basically what I want to do is make the rest of the screens for our game, all of the scenes and everything that don't exist yet, so that there's, like, something resembling a gameplay loop, essentially. So basically, the first thing we're going to make is the start screen, because we don't have one of those yet. And that seems like a nice thing to have. So we're going to need... I'm going to make... I will need Steam for this. I'm going to make a sprite really quickly, actually. This sprite sheet has, like, literally all of the for the game. Also, I realized that the keycap sprite is not symmetrical. I made a mistake. This side is different from this side. And they're all wrong. And every keycap on the keyboard is wrong. And I just realized this last night. That all of the keycaps have this mistake. But anyway, I fixed it for the map tiles. And I am basically just going to copy this sprite, and I'll make a new layer for this. Oops, not a group. Buttons. And the button texture is basically just going to be the map tile texture, but I'm going to make it wider. And that's what we'll have for now. So I'm just going to like grab this and make it some arbitrary size, I don't know. And boop, and boop, and boop. And then we're just gonna fill that in. And yeah. I think for now I'll just make like a single button texture. Nothing fancy. Export as selection, textures, UI. Let's make a new folder. Buttons. And then button basic. Yeah. Okay. And then for now, I think I'll just make like a button, and then we'll call this like typeable button. We're gonna add a sprite. It's going to use the texture we just made. Yippee! And then it's also going to get, of course, a typing test. Oops, oops, oops. A typing test. And a name tag display. Then the name tag display will lead the typing test. Boom. And for this, we are going to move the name tag display downward. And let's see here. Let's put this guy at 0, 0, 0. The sprite at 0, 0, 0. And then the typing test. This position probably doesn't really matter, but I'm going to put it at 0, 0, 0. And finally, the name tag goes at 0, 0, 0. And it looks a little bit low, which is probably just because of the way the font is, but I think I am going to move it up a little bit. Let's do, oops, it's the name tag display that we actually want to move. Actually, shall I just leave it there? Because we're probably gonna, I might use capital letters. And then I should be able to set the target word manually. I haven't done this in a long time. Setting it manually, but I think if we do that, then when we start the scene, it should always be the word play. Yes, okay. And it does look, one thing, I think it should be a little bit bigger on the font size. Let's see. Let's make this like 40. And then maybe we'll change the color so it's like this kind of thing. We'll see how that looks. And then ultimately, I actually do want to move it up a little bit. It still looked weird. Even with a capital letter in there. 0.1, exactly. That looks pretty good. Now let's see what happens. Okay, we have a play button. The color changed because I actually need to plug this in to the name tag display here. So this can be that. And then typed letters, what color do we want that to be? Is that just like white, or is it... I mean, we could try this. We could try this and see what it looks like. Okay, oops. I think we need the hashtag. Okay. Check what we got going here. We got the play button, we type, it fills it in. It doesn't do anything right now. And then it goes to random words, because that's how it works. But yeah. Another thing that I should be considering, but I'm going to ignore for now, is that object. Is that you obviously want UI to work on all different screen sizes. And so, like, for UI, normally you would use a canvas, and then it does things. And it has anchors, so that it works on different screen sizes. But I don't know a lot about that, so I'm gonna set up something that works for now, essentially. And then I'm gonna worry about that later, is the plan, basically. So I'm being lazy, is what I'm saying. But yeah. Now all we need is essentially just a script that does what we did for the map. It's the same thing, we just need to change the scene. So I actually think I'm going to make a script. It's just scene switcher. Yeah, this seems like a good way to do it, probably. So we'll have a delay, and then switch scene after delay. Can we plug in a scene directly? Okay, no. I didn't think so. We need a string scene name. And then, let's see. How do we do this before? Do we put it in the map location? No, it's in the mapping. Which I've changed the file location of, it seems. Yeah, okay. So the scene name is in here. We'll still need to reference that. might actually keep it the way it is for the map tile, but just use this new script on like UI buttons, because they behave a little bit differently. But ultimately it's going to be a switch scene on delay script. And so I'm just going to copy the code from here. And we're going to start coroutine, change scene, delay. And then we need to import something, I'm guessing. Okay. And then we actually don't need most of this code. We just need the one line, because we are getting the scene name from scene name. And this probably doesn't actually need a delay, but we'll see. It will be useful to be able to add a delay when there's like animations and stuff in the game, but for now everything just like happens for the most part, so. Next, I'm going to make this a prefab, because we will definitely be reusing this. And the type of button we are going to give the scene switcher, and I'll do a slight delay for now. And the scene name is going to be the map. So first, for load scene to work, we need to make sure it's in our scene list, and it is. So I can just type that here. It's going to change the scene to the map, and that's all the play button is really going to do. Yeah. And then of course we need to go make sure we do that. Make sure we did that in the prefab. Not typing test prefab, but the typable button prefab. Yes, okay, we did. And then the typing test is going to reference typable button, the scene switcher script, and then it is going to call switch scene after delay. And I guess actually I'll just type it in here. Actually, yeah. Here's what we'll do. We don't need to take this in here, because we already have delay. It's right here. We put it somewhere else. So switch that real quick. Scene switcher, switch to delay. What's going on? Oh, okay. It's fixed itself. Okay, let's see if this works. I feel like I just did a lot. Boom. Okay. We hit play, we switch to the map. Very nice. And then from the map, you can pick a path, and then you're in the battle. But right now, the battle never ends. You just unalive all the enemies. I really need to change the number of enemies, because I type pretty fast and it's still too hard. I think I just set it to let's see. I just set it to a big number to make sure the spawning code worked correctly. That's why there's so many. We're gonna make it 4. That seems much better. Okay. So now we basically need to actually make it so you transition when the battle ends. So if you lose the battle, if your character dies, then you go back to the start menu, and then otherwise you go to the map. And that's the plan. Okay. So we essentially need, I guess we'll have a, let's go to the battle scene. I guess we'll have like a, battle lost pop-up, and then a battle won pop-up, and let's create like a battle manager script. And so the battle manager will control it will control like the show when these get shown, essentially, or when they get like enabled. We'll probably deactivate the active state is how we'll do it. So battle manager. I did not make the script yet. Okay, make sure I actually attach the script before I start writing the code, because I'm gonna forget later if I don't. Okay. Battle manager. Where'd it go? Okay. Another thing, let me do this to make the stream better. Because I had this set up before, but I forgot to fix it when I undid it. That way you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Because before the webcam was in the way, which is not pleasant. First I'm going to make an enum, which is, we have in progress, won, and lost. And then in our update, we're going to have update pop-ups. And then we're going to have a reference to win pop-up, lose pop-up. Then we need to actually make this update pop-ups. There's just going to be, you also need current state. Current state is 1. So what I'm gonna do first is say when popup dot set active false, and then lose popup dot set active false, and then based on the state it will enable them. I could do this as an if-else chain, but I feel like it almost looks cleaner to do it separate. So that's what I'm going with for now. Okay, and then I'm actually going to make the battle state public, so I can just change it. Yeah. And let's see, we'll add something to those to make it obvious. I'll probably just add, if you lose, you get a triangle, but if you win, this is big, chat, this is big, you get a square. And I'm going to put them in different places to make sure we don't somehow get both at once, even though that should be impossible, I think. And let's see what we get here. Battle manager. If we set the state to 1, we get square. Lost? Ooh, triangle. Very fun. So now essentially, instead of a triangle and a square, we need more typeable buttons. The thing I just made. So they're each going to get a typeable button. I'm going to rename this one to lose button. Actually, I'm going to make it... Let's see. So when you lose, you either are going to get new run button. It's just going to start you with a new run right away. Or you will have main menu button. And those are kind of your options. And let me just like place those kind of willy-nilly. Let me put this at 0, 0. And then also put this at 0, 0. I wish I just put things at 0, 0 by default. That's what my heart wants, but alas. And then where did I put this on? -5. We get -4. The positioning of all these is definitely going to change, but it's whatever. Okay, so then in our new run button, our typing test is going to have the target word new run. And then in our main menu button, it's gonna have, get this, main menu. And then for now, the battle one is just gonna have a next button, I think. And it's gonna go back to the map. We're going to tweak how all this works eventually, but what I want to have now is just like, you can go between all of the different scenes. That's the goal. So then, next. I might capitalize these. I think, I can't wait to watch people like lose a run, rage, and then like typo trying to type new run like 4 times. I think that would be really funny. I can't lie. Okay. Let's just do a little test here. Make sure that looks okay. Battle manager, current state 1, you get the next. Can you, it is not processing the typing, which is interesting. And then lost, it also does not process the typing. My theory is that I have not made capital letters work correctly. But we're going to see if that's quite the case or not. Because I don't know that I've tested capital letters. No. Okay. It just straight up doesn't work. Which is kind of less concerning, in a way. might... What would cause it to not detect the typing at all? That's kind of what I'm wondering. Seems kind of strange, don't you think? Let's make sure that it genuinely does not work at all. So we go into Battle Manager, we go to 1, you can see it's active here. It's not changing visually, and it also isn't logging anything in the console. So it does seem like it's truly not working on all levels. Let me even turn on debug typing to make sure. We're not even getting any errors. This is the worst kind of issue to have. Okay, so it truly... The other ones are working in the same scene, but this one truly is not getting anything. And actually... Okay. So... This is... Okay, that's referring to the correct thing. What might cause such a scenario? Let's see. Let's open our typing test script. I don't even know what I'll do here. Could it be that here it's always setting it as inactive at the start of the frame? Could it be some sort of ordering issue? I mean, I can try. It seems unlikely. And then here we just put this in an if statement. This does not seem like it would be the issue. But we're gonna find out. Okay. 1. Okay. Yeah, it's detecting input now. Huh. Okay. That's so strange. I wouldn't have expected that to happen, but I guess it was setting it to be inactive, and even though it was being re-enabled, it wasn't getting the input from the player, so I guess that's the issue. I wonder, because is there some sort of function in Unity that is just called every time a player presses a key? Because I'm checking for key presses in update, and I wonder if I should not be doing that. If I should be using like a built-in event that's called something like update. Ultimately, I'm guessing it doesn't matter. But, okay. Now that that mystery is solved, let's check if capital letters do in fact work. They do seem to work. Test one more time. That time I typed it correctly. Next, I want to make sure that typing lowercase n does not count as correct. And it does not. Okay. Perfect. So we're going to turn off debug typing because that gets annoying. And then we're going to make these pop-ups actually appear when they should appear. So what we are going to say is, I believe my first thought is we'll check if the player game object still exists. If it does exist, we're good. If it doesn't exist, we have lost. And then we'll also use the tag enemy to check how many enemies are alive. If there are 0 enemies alive, then we have won, and that's how I'm going to implement this for now. So we're going to have private int num enemies alive, and then I'm actually going to call this num players alive, I think. Update battle state. We're going to say find game objects with tag enemy dot length, and then very similar logic. We update the state to 1, else if num players alive 0. Else your state is in progress. Yeah. I guess there's only one way to find out if this works. We do an epic battle, one for the ages. Oh, tag enemy is not defined. What do you mean? Do we not have an enemy tag? Huh. We don't have an enemy tag at all. Let alone do we have an enemy tag actually attached to the enemy prefab. Alright. I thought I did that a long time ago, but I suppose I did not. Am I going to have to go back and do that again? Okay. It is saved. Is our player tagged player? Yes, it is. Okay. Now we try. Now we have an epic battle. Right, guys? Match. Well off. Never. Your. Invent. And it appears we have won, and then we hit next, and we go to the map. Very beautiful. And we will not fight for our life this time. We will allow the enemies to win. For the purpose of science. Oh no! 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 Interesting things happen with the enemy. Okay, interestingly, we have still won. So there might be an error in my code. Yes. I have said we win if the player does not exist. Did I call it lost? Yeah. Sort of like you just lost the game, you know? Let's see. He's coming. I love when the enemies crash into each other and the text starts to tilt sideways. That's great. Okay, so now we can do new run or main menu. Space does not work correctly, it would seem. And I'm guessing that the reason that is because I haven't included space in the regular expression. That's my guess. So I think I'll just throw space in here. And let's see. Because I think in terms of everything else, it should work. I definitely had the thought that I might need spaces at some point. So hopefully my code mostly supports that idea. New space run. Beautiful. I might have to like it might look a little confusing to have that space there, but there's no visual indication that you've typed the space, so I might have to fix that at some point somehow. But the only other thing now is that everything takes us to the map, no matter what it is. So we gotta fix that. New run button is not going to take us to the map, but actually it is going to take us to the map, isn't it? It's going to take us to the map, but it will restart the run, which is functionality I'll have to make later. Quite soon, probably, actually. Main menu is definitely going to go to the main menu. What do we call that scene? Start menu. I should probably call it main menu. Because it will be the main menu, I reckon. And let me make sure that's in the build settings. It's not, so we'll need to switch to that. Add open scenes. Okay. Back to our previous scene, which was battle, battle loss, main menu button, scene name, no space, thank you. And then, yeah, so the new run and next will both go to the map, but later on I will have to change the functionality a little bit. Because right now, I actually accidentally, I did not mean to do this, but right now, every typable button just changes the scene. But I actually want it to be some generic thing that it does. So I shouldn't be saying that. And I will have to change it later. But for now, let's see if going to the main menu works. Because we've seen that going to the map works fine in both cases. So I will let the enemies win again. I could save time by just setting it to lose manually, but that's no fun, you know? It's no fun. I also need to make the button sprite bigger, because main menu is too large. But yeah, okay, that works. So we can go main menu, we can go play, we can go to the shop. Uh, we have no money. Let's actually check. No, okay. That's actually the next thing that we want to handle. Actually, no. There's one more thing. One more thing before we get to that. And that is that right now, there's only one dead end in our game. It is the shop. When you're in the shop, there is no way to leave. So we need to fix that. So that our gameplay loop is not a gameplay line. So I'm going to make these higher up to make room for some buttons. Yes, okay. Now I'm just going to add an exit button, and that's all we need for now. I'm getting texts. Yeah. Let's see. So we are going to add in a lovely typeable button. And we're going to just put it down here. It's going to change us back to the map. It's already set correctly. And exit. Let's see if it works. Exit. Hurrah! Okay. So now we want to I want to make the run info transfer between scenes instead of being destroyed every scene. And I actually think I don't quite remember how to do that. I think I think you just do it in code. But we want to set it to don't destroy on load. Yes, object.don't destroy on load. Okay. So I'm actually just going to create a script for run info in case we find a way to use it later. I'm noticing it opens Visual Studio when I make a new script, but it doesn't open the new script. Like, it's not open here. I have to open it still. So we're gonna attach. Let's okay, let's go to the map scene, because that's where we want our run info to like originate. The first time we open the map is going to be when we create our run info. And then I'm gonna make it a prefab. Not sure if I need to, really, but doing it nonetheless. And then we will give it the script I just made. And for now, this is just going to be private void awake object dot don't destroy on load. Takes in a transform, it said? No, it takes in an object. So we'll just call it this, I suppose. I've only worked with this once before, but I remember it was very simple. So now if we start in our scene, our start scene, that is, let's see what we get. Let's make sure this works. We're gonna be keeping our eyes on the inspector here. So we have no run info because we're not on the map yet. We hit play, we go to the map. The run info is missing from here, but it is now in here. And so this run info should be permanent. So let's open run stats here. If we go into the battle, we should see our money go up in the run stats, which is something I implemented previously. Right now it's like a random number, 2 to 5, I think, or random float to be specific. Okay, so we have $14, and what we want to see is that when we type next, we should still have $14.78071. And we do. So now if we go to the shop, we still have $14, and we can buy all these keycaps, basically. They're not very good, but I will buy them nonetheless. For demonstration purposes. And yeah, now we can exit. We can go do another battle. We can win this battle again. Oh no, I've made a typo. We go next. We go back to the shop. This time we got some better keycaps, probably. We have D, which we could make. What do we want to replace? Probably just the numbers for now. I'm gonna make it so that you cannot replace the numbers until you've unlocked words you need to type that contain numbers, eventually. But for now, we don't have that. So I'll buy those, I'll exit, and we can do a battle again. I would like to see a word with the letter D so that I can test that functionality. Okay, produce. Attacked for 10 damage. We'll do the math on that. Okay, produce attacked for 10 damage. Is that what we expect? Let's start from the beginning, right? P is a standard keycap. That's 1 damage. And then R is standard. That's 2 damage. O, standard. That's 3 damage. D is damage mults. That multiplies everything before it by 2. So we're going to go from 3 to 6. And then U is standard. That's 7. Excuse me. C, standard. That's 1. And then E should be standard. I believe, if I can find it. I keep forgetting it's in the keyboard order. E is standard. So we get PRO times 2, that's 6, and then there's UCE, which should each give 1. So we should have, I believe, 9. But we have 10. We have 10, guys. This is mysterious. Lego Superbrick says hi. Hello. Interesting. So why is the math not mathing? One has to wonder. Do you happen to be the Lego I'm thinking of, or just a random YouTube person? Yes? Okay, cool. I was just curious. The math isn't mathing. Let me explain what's happening here. Let's actually pause. Let's drag. I've never done this before, but I think it should work. Let's drag a keyboard display into this scene. Move it here. Unpause. Okay. what we should be seeing is key match discord dead. It is dead. It is certifiably dead. We have PRO. Those should each give 1 damage, so we should be at 3. And then we have the D key, which should multiply all previous damage by 2. So that would make it 6. And then, I'm talking about the word produce here. We would have UCE, which should each give 1 more damage, so we should be at 9 damage. But alas, in the console, we saw that we attacked for 10 damage. And that's mysterious. We need to figure out how that happened, basically. Because that would be a nasty bug to deal with later, I feel like. And let's see, where do we have... Right now we're in typing test. I think we want to be in player. The player script. I'm guessing the D adds a damage after it multiplies. It's the only thing I can think of. Okay. You know, I think what we want, let's trace this a little bit. Well, okay. Let's look at the keyboard weapon. I think that's the key. Yes, this actually has the execute keycaps function, which is what makes the keycaps do damage. So we say damage is 0 for each character, for each keycap. Ah, I think I know what's happening. I missed this. I'm so silly. But we have the D key twice. 2 of them. So the first, it actually applies damage per keycap. So the first D keycap multiplies the 3x2 to get 6. The second D keycap adds 1 more damage to make it 7. We're good. We're good. The code works as intended. Which is nice. Because I think we can officially say that this is like a game you can play and win and lose. You don't get a score. Do you need a score for it to be a game? I don't think so. You just need to win or lose, or have some sense of how you did. Wow, these all suck. I need to edit how this works. Where is my J key? I think it's this? Yes, okay. I want an alternate keyboard layout. So my keys are in different places. Yeah, but technically, this do be a game. You can play it. There's quite a few glaring things that need to be changed. This is not worth buying. Like, obviously the map, obviously the fact that we have 5 run infos. I once tried playing a flash typing game, but it was running too fast, so you couldn't make out the letters. Interesting. Like the game was running too fast, so it was like a visual thing, or like there was an enemy that was moving too fast, so you couldn't read. Enemies going at you. But do you mean like the enemies are too fast, or like something else? Um, the words are all the enemies and they're moving too fast, so the letters are blurry. Yeah, that's definitely something to consider. They, but I feel like if you if you get so fast that they can't make out the words, then uh, things are probably unreasonable. It kind of like it's almost like if you've ever played like a rhythm game, right? If you have something like any four key like Dance Dance Revolution, Quaver, Osmania, that kind of thing, where like the notes are coming down and you have to, hit the correct note at the right time. There's like the scroll speed setting, and the scroll speed is like higher scroll speed, the notes move faster and they're further apart, so it like balances out, and then low scroll speed is like the notes move slower but they're closer together, and it like all balances out that it's visually like you can still use the visual cue to know when to hit the key, but it's sometimes easier to read faster notes, sometimes easier to read more dense notes, and it just like depends on how good you are and how good you are at reading, and I don't know, just like person to person probably. But yeah, could have like a similar feature though, like enemy packing. But ultimately, I don't think the enemies will ever move that fast because I can just make them more dense, and that will be equally as stressful, I feel like. But yeah. Okay. Let me check my text real quick. Okay. We chillin'. All right. I was playing on a low refresh monitor, and there's some hard rock, so that makes sense. That makes sense. Hopefully, my game will not have issues like that. Okay, the only issue right now, something I need to fix, is that the map has this run info that we want to keep permanent, but also every other scene has run info. And we only want the map scene to create the run info. We'll leave it in here because this scene is just for testing. It doesn't appear in the actual game. Keep it in map. Sample scene, don't need you. I could probably delete sample scene at this point. Do not need sample scene. Do I want to save the changes? No, I deleted it. And then shop will not create a new run info either. Okay. Cool. I don't know what I'm running the game for. Everything has been seen to work. So I mean, I guess I could check if extra run infos are created, but there's still an issue. It's going to create that run info every time you go to the map, no matter what. And that's not what we want. Because if it's you want to create it if it's the start of a run. If it's not the start of a run, you do not want to create it. So I think how do we want to do this? We can check if there's already a run info game object, and if there is, we delete the newly created one and just keep the old one. If there isn't, we just keep it. Another option would be in the run stats. We have like a is new run, and then I don't know actually. Because we don't have run stats until we create run info, so I'm not sure that makes sense. So probably just that first option. The words written in two spots in upper left and upper right, separated field and half of the words listed in each half in order of proximity, with lines pointing to the dots. Oh. The word upper left. Separated field. What are you saying, Dan? I need some clarification. Would this just, like, are you saying, like, we put the words in the corners to... Okay, yeah. Yeah. That's definitely an option. I think, like, I've thought about that, like, briefly. I feel like that has its own issues. Like, if the... Right now, enemies are all the same speed, but if they go different speeds, then that might be weird because the proximity would be changing. And then also, if we do lines pointing to the enemies, that might just get like visually a lot. But ultimately, like there's something there. I could definitely make it better in some way. But yeah. It could even just be like an optional accessibility option too. It doesn't have to be there necessarily. But yeah, I think like something like that is definitely a good idea. It would just require like a little bit of tweaking probably and like testing to see what works best. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. What do I want to do? Oh yeah. It's so hard to focus on what I'm doing when there's chat to be read and things to be said. But what I'm gonna do is run info. Let me open the prefab. I'm gonna make a tag for this. I love tags, man. I use so many tags. I'm addicted to tags. Okay, and then game object array run info objects equals game object dot get dot find game objects with tag run info, and then if run info objects dot length is greater than 0, then we are going to destroy this game object. So we're basically saying every time we open the map, a new run info is going to be created. But if that run info detects that a run info already exists, it's just going to destroy itself immediately. And that way we only ever have one. And then what we will have to do is in the so in the battle, when you lose, we have new run and main menu, and both of those should just delete the run info. So instead of referencing scene switcher directly here, we will probably go to, let's see. We could have it reference the run info actually directly. And then, so we can have a public void restart run, essentially. Or restart run at scene. And then that way we will take in a scene name. And then we can pass that, and then all this will do is let's actually give it a scene switcher. Run info. You get a scene switcher all to yourself. But scene switcher only takes in a name in the inspector. That's fine, because we can pass it along, I think. Let's see. Private scene switcher, and then private void start. I'm going to say scene switcher equals get component scene switcher. Then here we'll say scene switcher dot scene name equals scene. And then scene switcher dot switch scene after delay. We need to pass in a delay. So this scene switcher comes with a delay, right? So I'll actually use the scene switcher's own delay. Oh wait, no. We don't have to pass in a delay. I changed that. So we don't have to worry about that. Okay. So now we have restart run at scene, and then after we do that, we will need to yeah. Well, okay. We're gonna switch the scene, and then we're gonna destroy the old run info and create a new one. But my question is, will the old run info destroy itself before the new one's created? Because if it doesn't, then the new run info is going to create itself, say, hey, there's already a run info here, and then it will destroy itself, and we won't have any run info. So that would be bad. And I don't know which will happen first. I don't know how the order will work, but I think we're going to hope it works the way we want it to, and then if it doesn't, we'll fix it. And that'll be the plan. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just see if it happens. So we need this. Okay. And then, so the battle loss pop up. And this button in the typing test, instead of doing this, we want to go. Oh, we want to get the run info. But right now, the run info doesn't exist. Or it doesn't exist like in the inspector. That's so curious. I guess we won't do it this way. We'll have to have like some doing it through the battle manager will probably make the most sense. So we can have go to main menu, and then these will have to be public so we can access them in the inspector, and then go to new run. And this can just call the run info thing. So here we can do game object dot find game object with tag run info, and then let's see. We can do that, and then we can say run info object dot get component run info dot okay, let's see. There's no reason to do it through this, I feel like. Doesn't feel necessary, and it would just add more confusion, I think. So we can just give battle manager a scene switcher. You get a scene switcher. And you get a scene switcher. And you actually don't get a scene switcher now. That's the sad thing. Alright. And now we will need to actually get that scene switcher. Probably do that up here. Will the game have any items? I'm assuming keycaps don't count as items. I'm assuming you mean like full health. It might. I have to think about it. And like what the core mechanic is buying keycaps that upgrade your attacks. And that is like the one mechanic that I definitely want to like be the main thing. But then like I mean there's so many options for additional mechanics. Like could have like spells where you have to type a certain word to like activate a special kind of attack. Could have like potions that give you health. There could be like if you've played Balatro, like tarot cards to change your cards. In my game I could have something similar to like change the keycaps. There's like the possibilities are endless, so I don't know if the game will have that or not. I definitely might. I'm actually writing this down. A keycap that heals you when you type that letter would be a great idea, I think. Playing Balatro as we speak, of course. This game is definitely heavily inspired by Balatro. For sure. So, love to see it, really. I wish speedtyper.dev didn't delete my 10,000 races. That's crazy. What is that? Is that a website? oh, I remember what it is now. Even before I've opened it, actually. I recall... I've seen this before. Is this it loading, or... Oh, okay. I've seen this. Okay. Yeah, I've used this website before like a couple times, but I've never seriously practiced with it. Click or press any key to focus. Wow, that particular line is just... kind of crazy. No, I mean, that's a valid thing to have, but still. I feel like... Anyway. Every typing website that was made after monkey type, just like... It's hard not to see monkey type in it. Except for Keymash, maybe. Keymash was good about that. Unfortunately, Keymash is... I don't even know. It's in an interesting state, for sure. But anyway. I'm gonna hard code this against better judgment. Okay, this way we can destroy the run info object first. We don't have to worry about the order of execution. Keymash is still the best site besides monkey type. I think I agree. There is a potential competitor, or like Keymash, maybe spiritual successor, but made by someone else that like exists. I don't know if like I'm supposed to talk about it or not, because it's still like early access, and I got DM'd on Discord like, hey, do you want to be one of the first people to test this? And I was like, yeah, definitely. So I don't know like if I don't know what I can say about that, if it's like... But they are inviting a lot of people. And actually, I'm gonna specifically... I'm gonna specifically tell the person who's developing it to invite you, because... You definitely should be invited. Unless you're already invited. And you know what I'm talking about. I don't see you on the member list or anything. Yeah. You should definitely be in there. Let me actually see. What am I doing? Lego. Is your Discord Lego? Are you in the Keymash Discord? I assume it's not just Lego. That would be kind of cool. Oh, beach_board. Yeah, that makes sense. I remember now. I recall. He's already responded to me. Yeah. Yeah. Cause you were like #1, like Keymash experience and total races, right? So naturally. Disturbed past meal experience. Okay. Yeah. Uh, yeah. He says he will message you later. Probably. I'm not gonna make promises, but that's what he said. uh, okay. So then we can go in here. We can put in. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. We can put in the battle manager here, and we should be able to call go to. Which one is this? New run? Go to new run. And then in this one, hey yo, is this a bilateral but with a keyboard? What? Do you mean? Okay, I'm guessing you mean Balatro. That's my only interpretation I can accept for that combination of letters. What is Gnix Discord? It's exactly what you typed. It's Gnic. Okay. What was I doing? Yes. Main menu button, typing test. Hello. Hello. Welcome back, Michael. Scene switcher. No. Battle manager. Go to main menu. That's what we want. Okay. See if this works. So right now, okay. What is this error? These errors might be fine. It might just be that we need to not start in this scene. But we'll see. So basically we've created the stream, all of the scenes that exist in the game. So you have like your main menu here, which is not very detailed. And then you have a map. And then you go to the map. And we get an error that I should probably fix. Object reference not set to an reference something, 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 something. Let's see. Oh, it's because there is no run info. We have somehow destroyed it. You are programming the menu? Pretty much. Right now, when you lose the battle, you can either start a new run, or you can go back to the main menu. And I'm trying to make it so that your progress saves between scenes until you start a new run, and then your progress will be reset. That's the idea right now. I think my code is not quite working how I want it to. Okay. When we go to the map, we are not getting a run info game object, which is what we want. As you can see, there's one here. So it seems I have done some stuff here. So basically, it looks for every game object that has the run info tag, and then if there's more than one, the run info will destroy itself immediately. And that basically makes it so if we create a second run info, it's like, oh, a run info already exists, we don't need me, and then it destroys itself. Um, that's probably because this needs to be greater than 1. Yeah. Because before, greater than 0 means there's just 1. But greater than 1, that means there's at least 2. And that's when we want to destroy it. So that's hopefully just a simple fix. Okay, we hit play and go to the battle. We see we have our run info here, so we get no errors. And then we are going to purposefully lose by letting the enemies just take me out. Let me reopen this. Okay. Okay. We have this screen as we want. And then, so we have our run info. And let's see, I'm going to change the money to 5. And we're going to see if hitting new run actually makes a new run info. And it seems like it does. Yes, we can see our money is back to 0. And then we're going to do another battle, and we're going to test the main menu and make sure that works. I'm going to attack something this time. That way I have money that will reset when we leave the run. Oh no, we lost, guys. This is so sad. Okay, now we go to the main menu. It deletes our progress. We hit play. We have new progress created. And just to continue, for the people who have not seen yet, we can attack the enemies. Eventually, we will defeat all of the enemies, and then we can go next. When we go next this time, you can see, I tried to point at my screen. The money is saved. So now we can go to the shop, and we can buy keycaps. So I'll probably buy this P, and this O, and then we can exit and go back into the battle. And if we type any words that have P or O, which is going to be up to random chance, there's one. It does more damage. So by default, you would just do 1 damage per character. But we have special keycaps that do special things. We have the damage boost keycap, like the G here, and that just gives you, when you type that character, instead of +1 damage, it does +5 damage. And then the N here is a damage multiplier, and it doubles all of the previous damage in the word. Are A, E, I, O, and U going to be rare? Right now, I've actually gone deeper than that. Because, well, the thing is, all of the letters appear at the same frequency, like, it's completely random, just like even random chance. But the cost is what I've changed. So if I open up my keycap script, and move it over here so you guys can see it. RSTLNE, like Wheel of Fortune? Yeah, pretty much. I actually went through and I did like I used like a frequency analyzer. It's like decode dot this, and this has a frequency analysis tool somewhere. But I took the word list, put it into frequency analysis, and I did it based off of that. So the price is basically everything that has between 0 and 14 occurrences in my word list of the 1,000 most common words, which I just stole from Monkey Type, because Monkey Type is open source, so I can steal it. But, yeah. Anyway, 51 to 98 is 2, 119 to 198 is 3. And these numbers are how many times that letter occurred in the list of 1,000 words. And then E is here by itself, costing 5, because it's so much more common than everything else. And then finally, it takes that price and it multiplies it by a multiplier that depends on the type of keycap. And so all of the keycaps are equally common, but the price reflects its usefulness. It definitely might change, but that's how it is for now. And then right now I have like all the symbols and the numbers, but there's no words that have numbers or symbols, so I'm gonna have to like change that. But you buy keycaps? Yes. So like I have enough money so I can buy this G. You can select the keycap by typing the word, you hit space, and then I can place this wherever I want. So like I could place it in the Z keycap to replace it. Would the end goal be that all the words are randomly generated? They are randomly generated from a list currently. Do you like having this, or do you like having a set amount? I think it's gonna like go up as you defeat bosses and whatnot. So like maybe you only have the top 500 English words, but then you beat a boss and it goes to like the top 2,000 English words, and it's like most of those words are slightly more complicated, slightly more difficult to type. Is this like Balatro with keyboard instead of deck cards? Kind of, yeah. The like way that damage is calculated when you type a word is not lifted, but it's inspired by Balatro. So like, when you type like, I don't know, banana, and then like say that like A is a ×2 keycap, then you get like your 1 damage ×2 plus 1 damage from the end ×2 plus 1 damage from the end ×2. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 14. And you would do 14 damage for typing banana. It's, yeah, very similar concept. So you have to play around the letter frequency, and then you can also play around, is this letter more common at the start or end of a word? Multiplication happens before addition. Yeah, I realized like the way I wrote it out here is not what actually happens. But the way it's coded, it happens like sequentially. Like how in Balatro you get plus mult before you get mult. But it does not follow PEMDAS. Yeah. But yeah, that's the main mechanic. And basically just now we've gotten like a game loop that's like playable. Just like making the transition between the map and the battle and the shop and all that. And so it's gonna be time soon to probably start making things like prettier. as seen by the next button being underneath the player. Yeah. What if you had a bomb keycap that would explode a word into individual letters, so you have to destroy it individually? Would you would you want to have that? That sounds like a nerf to the player. But I will also say I have a Google form in the description. At least it should be there. Let me make sure it's there. Yeah, it's in there. I have a Google form, so if you have an idea, you can put it in there, and then that way, 1, I'll remember it, and then 2, if I do it, I can give you credit. And be like, yep, this was this person's idea in the game credits. But yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of ideas that could be had. So, I think maybe words will spawn with bombs really, and you have to avoid the letters that have bombs. That'd be interesting. how would you like? Would it be like the goal is actually to not attack that enemy? Is that what you're saying? Would Dvorak be considered hard mode? Uh, well, the game doesn't care about your keyboard layout, or it. I would not change someone's keyboard layout for them, but my game does successfully handle alternate keyboard layouts as input. Like, I'm not using QWERTY, I use my own keyboard layout that looks like. Let me show it on Monkey Type. Would be the easiest way. TNW MLC layout, best layout. I've never heard of that in my life. My keyboard layout that I use looks like this right here. That's what I use. You can see if I press A, the I key lights up on Monkey Type. Hey, I know this website. That's crazy. Do you know this website? Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah. Point is, I use my own keyboard layout, and the game doesn't like freak out. How long have you been doing game dev for? I feel like that's a loaded question, because I like when I was a kid, I would make like games on Scratch. 2 hours at least. That is correct. Like I would make games on Scratch as a kid, so like if you count that as game dev, a long time. But I made in high school, so like too many years ago now, but not that many actually. Like a few years ago. I had a game design class, and we made a game in the Godot game engine, and it was like a maybe you could play it for like 10 minutes max little demo. It was kind of similar to this in a way because it wasn't typing based, but it was like fighting waves of enemies. And then after that was in high school. Now in college, I have had a couple classes where we didn't quite make games, but we have been working in Unity. So that's kind of game development as well. And it's also like the only reason I'm comfortable using Unity for this over Godot. I'm just more comfortable with Unity now. And then last summer, there's like a program at my school where you would create some form of immersive artwork technology thing. And so me and my girlfriend built a VR game in Unity. And so that's like my Unity experience pretty much. It's just like summed up by that. But that was like a full summer, like 2 months thing. So I did a good amount of game development doing that. You know? What's up, Shaz? Also, no sillies in 2 hours. Correct. We've been locked in. I did go back my deck and I changed all the shop code basically that night. And now let me show, because like people are here now and probably didn't see what I've done. We have like a gameplay loop, and it exists. And I go through this. I mainly just want to show you the shop, but I have to go through the works of getting there. When the enemies hit each other, they do strange things. Okay, we can go next, and then we can go to the shop, and the shop exists. And the prices are based on like which keys are more common, and you can buy the key and put it on the keyboard, and yeah. Why does Bro look like Tom Holland with luscious locks? Were you the are you the okay, is there one person who says I look like Tom Holland, or are there two? Serious question. Let me look. Wait. This is crazy. Let me just wait. Let me get reference. Tom Holland. Well, I can't see it without my glasses. Okay, wait. I need to check my YouTube comments. Was that Pax who said that, or was it someone else? Why? YouTube will not show me my comments. Latest. This is important, guys. This is important research. The stream can be put on hold for this. How do I see the comments of a live stream? It's just showing me chat. Wait, did I just click on the stream instead of the... Oh, I did. There's no comments on that one. This one... Bro, it was... Wait. Anthony said... Yo, WTF. Is that... Can I... Hold up. Okay. Make sure I'm not... Hold up. What's the right distance where you can see? Answer none. I don't know if you guys can read that or not. I can't read it. It says, yo, WTF, is that Tom Holland? I think I'm just gonna start saying yes. Does this count as a silly? Let's see. At least two. Wait, we have the original Why Does Bro Look Like Tom Holland? And then we have Maya Deck agreeing. What was I doing? Here's the thing. Before I stream every stream, I make a list of all the things I want to do that stream. And then I try to make that list pretty long so that I don't run out. But I have run out. But I also don't want to stop streaming yet. I'll probably keep streaming until like 4. So now I have to figure out what I want to do next, essentially. And I don't even know right now, because there's so much that needs to be done. What's the concept of the game? I'll show you that, since I don't know what I want to do otherwise. Basically, you go through, you battle enemies. When you defeat enemies, you get monies, as seen here in the inspector. And then once you defeat the enemies and win the battle, you can go to the shop, and you have this upgradable keyboard. And so you can purchase keycaps, and then you can place them on your keyboard, and they will have different effects, basically. So right now there's only 3 types. There's a standard keycap, which is when you type it, you deal 1 damage. And so if you type like a 5-character word with all standard keycaps, you do 5 damage. Then there's damage boost, which is that letter counts for +5 damage instead of +1. And then there's damage molt, which is the dark red. and that's multiplies all previous damage in the word by 2. Uh, but I mean, yeah, that's the concept. You upgrade your keyboard to get stronger, and then you fight more enemies. That's basically what it is. I think, let's see. Maybe next I can make the map more map-like. Could be something we work on. So I'm still not gonna make the map randomly generated yet, but I want to make it continuous. Because, like, right now it just loads the scene in its default state, and then you like go from this one to the next one. You know what I'm saying, right? But the map should have continuity, so that's something I need to do. And I think that we'll have to we'll have to store the map somehow as data, because closing and reopening the scene is going to completely destroy every game object. So we're going to have to store the map. So I think we're essentially, we have, what do we have so far? We have map tile. And map tiles can be connected to other map tiles. So we can, or a map tile knows which map tiles come next. So we have like a tree data structure kind of going already. So we essentially just need to make a tree. And I think I'm gonna move all these up and closer together. What I'm gonna do for now is that, let me move these. We shall start treeing. I'm actually just gonna like throw some things around. Boop. 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 So you can imagine in your mind. Actually, let's apply. Let me take a screenshot. Okay. You can imagine in your mind that we have like this path goes here or here, and then here, or here, or here, or here, and it's like a tree type thing. And maybe you can go from this one to this one. That kind of thing. Very similar to Peglin or Inscription. My go-to example this stream is Peglin. Yeah. Then I don't know. Yeah, the Inscription map. That's hand-drawn. Yeah, it's kind of like this. Inscriptions is... Yeah, this is a good example of like what it ends up looking like. So it's like that. That's the idea. Okay, so I'm gonna configure all these basically so that we have start, and then the following tiles are the battle and the shop. And then battle is going to have, let's do this. Yeah, I'm gonna just connect them up. So following tiles, we'll have 3. We're gonna connect to this one, and then we're gonna connect both of these shops. And then this one here, we are going to connect to the next 2 battles, which are this and this. And so like I have a map, it's a tree in data at least, if you think about it. But I'm gonna need some way to actually like let you use that tree, I guess. So we're gonna need I think we'll have to store this in run info because run info is like our place to save things. So I'm gonna create like a map info, and then make a script for that. Here's the question: do I want to put this in run info or map info? Probably run info. We wait for it to do its thing. It opens Visual Studio, but it doesn't open the actual script we just made because Unity moment. And then map. Okay, this gets the map info script. And so, yeah, okay. We're gonna have map location and we have map tile. And I think we want to use map location. Map location, if I open that script, over here, is essentially like the data version of what a location is. So like this actually stores what type of location it is, and that's it. And so we want to use that, and then we're actually right now it should not, but map tile stores, it's map tile that stores which locations are adjacent, and I don't want that to be the case. I want it to be map location that stores the following tiles, which is right here. So I'll have to do that. And it's actually going to be a map location array. Next locations. And this might mean that I can't do it in the inspector how I wanted to, but so it's gonna be a roguelike then? Yeah, yeah. Either roguelite or roguelike. I don't know where the line is drawn, but yes. How do you plan on balancing this? Lots of testing. There is I mean, obviously, I will play it. I will make my friends play it. I will make my girlfriend play it. I might make my family play it, perhaps. But also, there's like a game dev club at my college. I will make them test it if they want. And then I'm also sure I can find plenty of people in the typing community who would want to try it. So it'll be interesting to, like, regardless of what upgrades you get in a run, sure there's like a prerequisite words per minute you need to have to be able to win. That is like part of the problem for sure, and I don't want it to be like that. Um, so there's gonna be like it's gonna be interesting. Um, I'm kind of just hoping that I will be able to find a way to make it work. But I think I think what I have to do is I have to lean towards the game being more about strategy than about how fast you can type. Because you can, like, you are going to be limited by one of those things for sure. And it's a lot easier to improve your strategy at the game than it is to just start typing faster. Um, and I would say I don't want someone's typing speed to actually matter that much, because the point isn't to, like, test how fast they can type. The point is to, well, the point is to make a fun game, but the secondary bonus is that you're just practicing typing, you know? Like, uh, it's not like I'm trying to make something where only the best can win. And so I think the balancing has to favor strategy over typing fast. Kind of like how Balatro just uses poker as a premise. Yeah, like you don't have to be good at poker to win a Balatro run, you know. It is kind of like that. But yeah, it's like typing is like a base. It happens to be the way that you attack the enemies, but it's not the whole point. And so I think that's like the only way I'm going to be able to have a realistic task of. It's the only way balancing is going to be realistic, I guess is what I mean to say. Yeah. It's just like I want to incentivize being able to type faster a little bit. And I definitely want to incentivize being able to type more accurately, because I think that's even more important. So you get the idea. But the nitty gritty of it is going to be very difficult, I think. Okay. So we're going to have map info. It's going to have the star location. And then see, now is where I'm wondering if I should just write code to make it generate the map. Because, let's see. How I did it in here was I connected, let's see, map tile doesn't, I don't want it to store this anymore. And so it will have to be stored in the map location. Yeah, I probably still won't make the script, we have start. Okay. Yeah, I can't define this in the inspector anymore, really. Unfortunately. So what I could do So basically, we're gonna generate, store, save, load this map uh, as a tree of map location classes, and then we will have to make a function separately in the map scene that just takes in this map info and then generates the map visually. And I think that's just going to be the only way to do this for now. And I think it might be a little weird. But for now, I think actually, let me make a map location doesn't have a constructor yet. So I should make that, huh? And it will just be this style location type equals location type. And it's just you can create it with a specific type of location. And for now, I'm gonna hard code a map, I think, instead of trying to do like procedural generation right now. So the start space will be a blank, and then we'll make a shop, and then a battle. What's good, Octa? Not much. Well, wait. A lot is good. But not too much is going on. We be coding. Okay. And then we're basically gonna say start location dot next locations equals these two. And so you can imagine we could use this to generate a map, or like procedurally generate a map. But for now, it's just gonna do the same thing every time. And then what a strange error. I think I've just used square brackets here instead of curly brackets. We need I see no errors. I think I've done that correctly. Alright, so we have this. All we need to store is the start location, because the start location contains the next locations array, and that will be how we figure out like what the whole map looks like. So you're awesome, bro. Much love from Florida. Thank you. I'm having fun. Sorry, there's a lot of thinking. It's extremely difficult to focus on like doing something you have never done before, and like in terms of game development, while also streaming. Because especially with my ADHD riddled brain, Disclaimer, I'm not diagnosed with ADHD, but I was once diagnosed with ADD as a child. Point is, uh, I just think for 10 seconds, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm streaming, and I haven't done anything for the last 10 seconds, and that's not fun. And then I stop thinking about the thing I was thinking about. I understand Echo too. It's hard. Yeah, it's definitely kind of confusing. So we've generated a map, and I think this map exists. So now in our map scene, we need something that will actually create the map. You get better at practice? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That's why we work through it. So get rid of all these. We want a map display. And the map display is going to create map tiles. Map tiles take in a map location. The map location is what actually stores the information about that location. Separate the data from the display. That's what I've learned. That's what I've been told. So we are going to make a script. Map display. I gotta go, but you're awesome. Thank you again, and I'll see you around. Hopefully, I probably will not stream tomorrow. If I stream, I might stream Saturday and or Sunday. If I do, it'll be in the evening, because I work in the morning. But hopefully I will stream then, because I want to stream more than I have been even. Even though I used to stream not at all that long ago. But I'm enjoying it. Let's edit this here script. Okay, and we're going to say start location. Okay. So we're going to get our map info. And so what we're going to say is that map info equals game object dot find game object with tag run info dot get component in children map info. And let me double check that makes sense within my hierarchy and everything. Yes, we have run info, and then as a child we have map info. And then as a component of that child, map info, we have this map info script. All add up? Okay. So then... okay. Create map tiles. We're going to say... And we'll actually want the map tile prefab as a public member. And this will be a private member. I'm going to change the order of these because I usually do public members before private members for some reason. Okay. And then map display, we will give the map tile prefab, which I have already created long ago. Boom. And then, so we'll need to like, probably track the depth of a map tile somehow, as in how far along the path of the map is it? Uh, so okay. Actually, okay. I could hmm. I probably want to use recursion here, I think. Yeah. I think so. I don't think I've ever used recursion in Unity. uh, but we can take in a... Let's see, we'll have... Basically, we have a map tile. Let me use the brush. We have a map tile, and it has children. And so we basically want to say, create the children, and then for each of those children, create all of their children. And so we call it on this, and then this guy calls it on these. And then good times. So we need to pass in an array of all of the children. Okay. So that's going to be, let's see, map info dot start. What is it? Map info contains start location. These need to be public. Okay, and then the start location has next locations, which is a map location array. So that's what we need to take in, a map location array. So basically what we're going to do is when we start, we will call create map tiles starting at a depth of 0 and passing in an array that contains only the start location. I think this is how we can do that. Okay. So then, basically we're going to be instantiate a tile for each location in the array. And then call, okay, for each location in the array, instantiate a tile for that location, call create map tiles on all of that locations, next locations. That's like the idea in my head, but the problem is, and why I stop and think about this, is that this is not necessarily an accurate representation of how we want a map to work, because Well, the representation is fine, but the interpretation uh, has issues because I want to be able to have, bear with me, a map like this, where this like you can get to this one from two different locations. You can get to it from here or here, but I don't want to draw this tile twice. That's not what I want. Uh, so that's kind of a thing to think about. Um, could we just give each tile an ID number, and then that way it can reference that, so it knows not to create a tile with the same ID twice? Probably. Probably makes sense. I think that's the solution. But that means that each map location must also have an ID. So then we have to change our map generator accordingly, and also our constructor here. And then in map info we have generate map. This, as you can see, we're getting errors now. Wouldn't it make sense to just the next layer once independent of what's above it and deal with the possible routes separately? Wouldn't it make sense to just generate the next layer once? Maybe? But I'm thinking... I don't know why, but I feel like it makes more sense to generate the whole map at once. I guess it could be more fun to not generate it all at once, because then based on what happens, you could change the generation. But I think like to like start, it just is makes more sense in my head to like do it all at once. And for now, I'm hard coding a map anyway. But yeah, I want like the very basic version, and then once I like can confirm that map display works and everything, I could definitely think of like a more common way to do it. I don't have a clue what I got dropped out for a reason. No, I mean what you said makes sense. Like I don't have any more idea how to do this than you do, probably. I just happen to be the one doing it. Yeah. And then we can have a we can have an array that just tracks which IDs we've already created a tile for. And then before we create a tile, we say if the ID is in this array, already, we do not create the tile. And that way we don't create like duplicate tiles. Which actually, like, this is purely for display, so if we did create duplicate tiles, well, no. It's not purely for display, because attached to the map tile is the typing test. And so creating duplicates would be bad, because then we'd have two typing tests for the same application, and that would be weird and look bad. So, yeah, this is probably the way to go, making sure we don't duplicate somehow. I think this makes sense. I'm gonna instantiate this to be empty, I think. Okay, and then at the end, make sure we add it to the list that we already included. But we don't have dynamically sized arrays. Is this how you do this? Oh. Does this just work? Ah, well, now we don't have contains. Oh, we can we can do 4 each for an array list shortly. Wait, we're creating an array list array. That doesn't make sense. I'm just gonna need to like Unity C# array list because I have not worked with array lists more than a couple times at most. Okay. Can array lists contain any types then? That's crazy. Can it contain multiple different types? No. I burnt my hand on the radiator. Oh. That doesn't sound good. Like burn or like ow that hurt? Because that doesn't sound good. We do this. Oh, I could do that. Interesting. Okay. First, okay, now we need to create the tile Then we will add the ID to the list, and then we will call cursedly. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I do have to end the stream in a few minutes because it's almost dinner time. We're getting there. I mean, it's kind of early for dinner, but my family's coming over, so I need to be present and existent. Okay, create the tile. I kind of just completely lose track of what I'm doing sometimes. But it's like if I read the comment I already wrote, it makes a lot of sense. I want. Can I just reference transform here? I don't need this, not transform. Okay. And then gosh, how do we determine where horizontally it goes? These are big questions. Okay, well for now, we should be creating a tile. That's how it be. Real. It do be like that. For now we create a tile. Tile gets created. I can see if we open our scene, we can see if what I have works, and it will indeed create map tiles based on the map info. We have the script attached already. Okay, we'll see if it creates 3 map tiles or not, I guess, is all we're seeing here. Because otherwise, it's not set up. We get 2 map tiles, it looks like. Which, not bad, not bad. We actually, let's see. I feel like I'm kind of lost. I think, since I pretty much have to end the stream now anyway, I'm just gonna worry about that later. Or I'll make it work off stream probably so I can focus a little bit more. And hopefully next time we'll have a snazzy looking map. Hopefully I'll even do like a little bit of procedural generation. I don't think it'd be too complicated. It's a big buzzword, procedural generation, but I feel like it won't be that complicated. But yeah, I mean, that's all I got. It's about time for me to go. It was a nice stream. It was fun. I think, let's see. Yeah, this is my longest stream. I've never streamed for 3 hours, so I'm kind of tired. But yeah. Thanks, King. I'll see you, Alex. I'll see ya. All right.